In this sixth and final section of my science teaching portfolio, I synthesize my progress made this semester towards the goal that I will demonstrate the capacity for collegiality, reflective practice, and professional growth in regard to science teaching. The way I set up the evidence section is, again, differs from the majority of the other goals because reflection in all of the areas pertaining to this goal have been seen like seamlessly throughout the semester. With that said, I go into my synthesis of this progress. Collegiality was shown and progressed this semester as discussion board conversations with peers started on Blackboard. This progressed into conversations in class, which progressed into the in-class activities and continued to grow in our cooperation and ability to collaborate with one another by us working in groups and collaborating to create a CLC unit. This unit had 4 group members, and we continued to grow in this area as we helped each other teach the lesson, and the progress was finalized as we communed as a class at the last day to reflect on our learning. So our collegiality kind of went full circle. It started with online discussions, turned into collaborating through class activities, evolved into working together to create a unit, strengthened as we learned to support each other as we taught, and finally went full circle as we were able to reflect on all these experiences on the last day of class. Reflective practice was shown, and the progression was identified through all experiences again throughout the semester, first through the use of the discussion board to reflect on readings, and then again to reflect on the readings as a whole class, in class as a group, which again typically turned into a related activity that we were able to reflect on as both a teacher and a learner in our science notebooks. Our reflective practice continued to grow as we created multiple versions of the same sort of lesson plans. What I mean by that is considering the water cycle lesson plans. I think I made like 4 of them, and each lesson considered careful reflection and components of the previous lesson that would be used to create an even better lesson plan to follow. So this reflection allowed us to become better planners and in turn better teachers. And finally, at the end of the semester, we reflected on the success of our CLC's lessons that were actually taught. So we got to start by reflecting on readings, then we got to reflect on activities, reflect as a student, and reflect as a teacher. Then we got to reflect on our lesson planning, and then finally reflect on our teaching. So not only did our reflections evolve in terms of who we were reflecting with, but they also got to grow in the sense of the types of teaching things that were being reflected on. Each experience and progression in both the collegiality and reflective practice in regard to science teaching provided an ongoing growth in regard to my professional knowledge as collaborations and reflections increased and continued to grow in both quantity and quality throughout the semester. So did my professional knowledge.